I wasn't saying that was good, by the way. I just wanted to show you that.
Oh, so you don't think Joe Rogan's podcast is good?
No, I think Joe Rogan's podcast is excellent, but
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Co-Optimal Podcast. I'm Cody, and this is Juan.
what? that is not how we.
That's how we entered this.
No.
So if you are wondering what the fuck's going on because we haven't done any sort of content in a long time, what this is basically a podcast where me and Juan just shoot the shit, talk about topics that interest us, and just like, I don't know, like
talk.
Yeah, we just talk about stuff. Shut up! It's a good idea, and you don't know anything. So we got a couple topics that we're going to talk about, and if Juan, you bring up your phone and look at the messenger stuff that I had sent you before, there's a little list there of some stuff that we talked about, and I guess what I'm going to start it off with right now is tell me about what's going on in your life, Juan. Tell me about what's going on in your life.
My life is severely uninteresting.
I thought you were gonna say something like super bad.
No.
Sorry for a lot of squeaking. My chair's loud as fuck.
I don't know. Well, like I'm moving here soon.
Okay.
That's probably the most notable and exciting point in my life as of now. But with our downtime, like between like me and you, since we haven't been making content, I started streaming a little bit. I streamed a whole lot of Overwatch. I tried streaming Fortnite and
okay, so
hold on. Through OBS, that was by far the most difficult game to stream. Every time I would open it up, and I used OBS to stream other things like Overwatch, for example.
Right.
That's how I streamed it. Every time I opened up Fortnite and tried to stream it through OBS, it was like, you remember DVD players with the AV jacks? If you would plug it into like one of the blue ones, and like your whole screen would turn. It would like turn like a different,
like a different color, or like it would just like be like a garbled mess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just exactly what happened every time. And I could not for the life of me figure it out. I went on Google. I went through articles after articles, forums and stuff. Could not figure out why it was red. So I just did not stream Fortnite.
You like no one had ever had that problem before? Like,
no, other people have had that
problem. And there was no
solution.
All right. Well, then other than you trying to stream and failing miserably,
yeah,
I'm just kidding. I guess I did the same thing. I started to stream and stuff like that. I don't know, like we had kind of talked about this the other night. But yeah, I gotten a little popular. By a little popular, I mean I had like 3 viewers, 4 viewers, like 5 at most at one time, which like sounds like nothing, but is actually like, I don't know. It was something to me, like people just being interested in what I was doing.
I got so excited when I was streaming Overwatch because I got this one consistent viewer, right?
Yeah.
He would be in my stream almost every time that I was streaming.
Okay.
And his name was like Fagwent or something. I don't know. Besides the point, he was on his profile. It said he was a Dota player, and he had like 100,000 followers. So I'm like, oh my god, this guy's got like a following. He's watching me. Maybe I'll get a following.
Right.
No, he was a bot. He had no content on his channel or anything. He never replied to anything. So it was just like, yeah.
That's real good, dude.
Dude, I was happy when I first seen that I had,
because it's like one consistent viewer. Right. It's super awesome. If I had one consistent person listen to this podcast, I'd shit myself. I'd literally poop everywhere.
But no.
But okay, other than like, like our I guess like our attempts at being like content creators while also having a real life, which is way harder than people think. What's up with your life? Anything interesting going on lately? I know that you talked about you're gonna be moving here in a little bit. Got a place with your girl. And it's gonna be
Big
nice.
step. That's like this is our biggest step because we've only been together, for like a year and a half now. So
Is that all it's been?
yeah, it's only been like a year
yeah, I
and a
guess
half.
you're right.
Yeah. So we're gonna see how this goes. Like, we got a pretty good relationship. So,
That's good.
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I have my fingers 100% crossed for you on. So I guess then, since you brought up Fortnite and how you would attempted, I got a booger. Is that what you're trying to say?
I was trying to say it without.
Yeah,
saying it on
he's trying.
podcast.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being an asshole and pointing out that I had a booger. Great. What a nice friend. What a great guy. But anyways, let's get into one of the first topics I want to talk about, which is you brought Alexa. Shut up. Sorry, Alexa asked what I wanted to order. Amazon just trying to make those purchases while people are unsuspecting. But it's Fortnite. You brought that up. So one of the things that I've noticed is these battle royale type games are real fucking popular lately, and
Dude,
I want
they've completely saturated the market. Like, there are very few games that I've heard people talk about or even mention, besides like Far Cry 5 or Assassin's Creed Origins, that are not battle royale games.
Well, the thing is it's either PUBG, Fortnite, different variations in different other like games
But you
for
can,
game modes.
like H1Z1 or DayZ, those kind of games. Like they're survival based, like arena games or whatever you want to,
Right, and which is, I actually have always enjoyed those type of games for a long time. 5 years ago, when like they first were coming out, you know what I mean? And like so like now what they did though is I think that they streamlined a little bit and then made it so it got to like the combat a little bit quicker for a lot of the stuff.
Because they use the circle and they move players in and whatnot. But it's like, what more do you offer?
That's the problem with me. Like, okay, we all already know, how we both are with games, and like I fall out of stuff really quickly, whereas like you're more the type of person that you can kind of get like stuck in it a little bit more, which for these like type of games, that's usually kind of what happens to me, like for anything. But for this specifically, I remember like I played a bit of PUBG, like not a whole lot, but I played a bit, and I started to get so tired of it though, because one, to me, those games aren't good if you're playing by yourself, because there's nothing to enjoy with unless you're like
I've just recently purchased PUBG, and since I've been playing, I've had nothing but a good experience. But like you said, it gets really boring by yourself. So unless you have another person to play with, or like somebody that you feel comfortable playing with, the game it gets boring really fast. And I think that goes with Fortnite and other similar games, etc. Like if you're playing by yourself, those games tend to be boring.
And it's only because the strategy element that you have is like to try and survive and try to win is kind of lost. Like playing by yourself, and if you're the type of person that you like single player things and you like to try to do good on your own, then like you're gonna have a good time. But if you're the type of person that you like to play with others, so let's say you want to do the duos or you want to the group stuff, the problem that I have with it is you never have a consistent person that can do something. Like, okay, if everybody plays League of Legends, everybody plays, Heroes of the Storm, or any type of MOBA, you have a general consensus of what you're supposed to do, what you need to, like, like you have roles. And, like, even though, yes, there's outliers where sometimes people end up doing stupid shit or not following it, but for the most part, the end goal is to get to the end, destroy the towers, get whatever. So the problem that I have is whenever you try to play with other people that like you don't know for sure, like or for certain, like they're
like in a squad, they'll go out, pick up all the loot, and now they're all stacked up. If they find it without you, they don't help you, so you're stuck with like a pistol and a helmet, and they got a backpack and a M4 with a foregrip and a sight, and it's like, You're not being a teammate.
And they're killing these people while you're over here in the house waiting to die because somebody came in and you don't have a gun yet and all you have is a frying pan and you're trying to smack the shit out of some dude that's coming in and running up on you and you're like, God, please let this frying pan do something more than cook some fucking eggs because I'm gonna die. And so
and that's not for everybody. Like, you can't say that every teammate's that way. But for me, and this is a whole completely different issue that I have with the game, the community is super toxic.
And because of that, you have inconsistent games where 1 out of 7 games will be good and you'll have a great time with other players. But the problem is like, even if you're by yourself, the community is still toxic as fuck. And this is a whole other topic that like I don't have like on the agenda for today, but maybe we could talk about it a little bit later. But the online community in general over the last like 10 years has went from like being toxic to like just straight up horribly vitriolic. And it's terrible. It's terrible. I feel bad to say that I play games online because like it's like everybody says, oh, people are on Xbox Live calling people gay and the N-words and whatever. And it's like, no, now instead they're online like fucking saying horribly like shitty or racist memes or like,
and it's not even because these, and I don't think it's this way, but I don't think it's because these people actually feel that way, but it's because they think it's funny
to them. It elicits response from other people, and it's funny to them, and they think it's a great time. But
it's not.
To get off that subject and back to what we were originally talking about. Yeah, like that's exactly how these games are because it's a competitive game with an open world type of aspect where people are trying to win, and there's like something inherently like because in real life, if you were in this situation, it would be all for one. And so people take that to a next level for this game, and they have a mentality where it becomes especially all for one. So everyone that you play with, even if you're by yourself and there's like an enemy, and it's like, oh man, you like good job, you did a good job. It immediately becomes like, fuck you. Go die. It's like, oh, well, you can't even say, like, I had a good thing. I'm watching this thing right here, and it's telling me every time I clip. My audio input is literally telling me every time I clip because there's a little red light flashes. It's perfect. It's great. And I know I'm loud, and I apologize. And this is going to take some time for us to get, like, used to, like, the setup. And, like, we have a whole new thing, and I keep shaking the table with my chair, and I'm just fucking everything up. What? I'm going to leave. I'm just going to go. Do the podcast by yourself. Bye.
Cody, come back. You can blame it all on me.
Okay, but anyways.
All right, okay. With all that aside, I'm going to tell you my number one problem with PUBG and Fortnite.
Okay, go.
Progression. There is no real sense of progression. I get there's aesthetics, like you can get the boxes and the drops and the V-Bucks and whatnot, and you get aesthetic things, which also adds to the game because players not having like a foot up on
to a certain
extent. But like playing PUBG, okay, I earned my first box, my crate or whatever. I can't remember what they're called. I earned it.
The crates, whatever.
It let me open it. Cool.
Yep.
So I earned the currency or whatever the points, and I got myself another box, and I go to open it, and it's like, you need a key. The key's $2.99. You're telling me I have to earn the box, and then I have to spend my real money,
just like CS:GO,
on a key for aesthetics.
Well, like this is the thing is, I'm all for not putting something into a game that causes an advantage for other players,
like pay to win games.
I don't like that sort of thing. But if that's going to be the case, I think everything that can be unlocked, whether it's cosmetics, whatever, all of it should be something that yes, you can get based off of buying if you want to, if it's like cosmetics and stuff like that, but
there should be like
everything should be able to be earned. Yeah. The problem is that's exactly what it is with those type of games. Think back to when like Call of Duty actually used to be like very like popular, and the reason was because of progression, and then you could reset that and start over again. Yeah. And every time you knew you were gonna get something, and like while I don't think that model was exactly perfect, but the thing is people like to see something happen in a type of game where you lose everything, which even if you're talking about like what are they called? Oh fuck, I'm drawing a blank right now. The type of game roguelikes. Even if you're talking about a roguelike, which I don't know if you know what a roguelike is.
I do not.
But it pretty much means that like you try to like do as much as you can, and then you die and you have to start over.
Oh, okay,
Even
okay.
with those, there's some type of progression, or you feel like you're progressing.
Like you feel like you've done something, that you've earned something, and in PUBG there's just not that, or Fortnite there's not that.
Well, there is, but I don't think there is for people like us. There is for people that strictly like to just win, and like that's great. You can get to a point and you can win, but like if you are going through like it's always the same thing.
It's mind numbing.
Find whatever gun you can. Maybe try to look for a different type of gun. Pick up any attachments. Shoot people any that you find on the way, or hide depending on what your strategy is. Get into the circle, kill the last person, win. Great. I get what I'm saying does sound like other games, but the difference is there's like, I guess I want a different type of way to win, or a different like thing that you
different aspect. Like,
yes.
And I think PUBG has done a great job with adding the custom servers, to where there's custom game modes where you got like zombies, and then there's the war, and you know there's different game modes. That's cool.
Because this is the thing is nobody, I don't at least I don't want to say nobody, because there's a place for everything in the world. But to me, most people have no interest in I can't even see the problem is this isn't true. A lot of people will do the same thing over and over and over.
But
and
like
over
I said,
and
it's
over
mind numbing, dude.
But like this is the thing though. This is the world that we live in. Is like if people like something, they think it's interesting. Like even like look at streamers. To like just because like like yes, it garners the views as well, but like no one wants to see 1,200 hours of Dead by Daylight. Like that's the same fucking thing over and over again. And like I'm sorry to anybody that really loves these type of games. And like I'm not to be honest, I like PUBG, and I didn't think Fortnite was terrible.
I have a lot of problems with Fortnite, but I do enjoy PUBG.
But they're games that are they're good games.
What they are.
They have issues, and I think that they've done a great job of bringing a new type of genre to the field, and that's great. But now everything is just like everything's trying to be that type of battle royale type of game. Everything wants to have that type of game mode. Overwatch is talking about potentially doing that, or at least people have talked about wanting to do it. And to me, it's just like we get it. It's good. Just like everything in the world, we're blowing it out of proportion. And I don't know, like I do think they're good, and I don't want to see anybody not play those games that they like. I just want people to acknowledge the fact that like PUBG and Fortnite and this new one that I saw was like Heights something or something like that.
I don't know.
Isn't as amazing as like people make it out to be. Like it's a good game, but it's the same type of.
It's repetitive.
Yes.
It's at the very least it's completely.
I'm just glad to see
repetitive. And that's where it falls short for me.
And I feel the same way. I mean, I guess for you guys listening, I mean, let's hear your opinions. Like, why are we wrong, or why are we right, or like?
See, I feel like I'm kind of bashing PUBG right now.
But that's the thing is like that's what I kind of felt like too. But
PUBG has a lot of good aspects too. Like I feel like the combat, like when you actually do see people, the combat feels really, really well made, like the muzzle flash, like the bullet travel time, like the way you interact with your weapons.
For the most part, yeah.
For the most part, it works really well compared to like Fortnite. I have a lot of issues with Fortnite's like their weapons and how their weapons work.
I like the building aspect. I like the cartoony like aspect of certain things. I think certain things are interesting.
I like the building aspect to an extent. Like I don't like that you can instantly build a wall and just evade damage that way. That to me is not a good aspect.
To me though, like I'm also the type of person though I like otherworldly like powers and stuff like that. I feel like a type of game, like a battle royale game that where there was like powers and stuff introduced where you could do certain things, I would be fine with that. Like I think that'd be interesting, and maybe the game would be a little bit more interesting to me because maybe you could actually like choose through different points in that game to like upgrade certain abilities. Like if like as you stay alive more, kind of like a MOBA or like a RPG, like you could get like different sort of aspect from the game because every time you could play it, you'd have something different because you're like, oh, last time I went force push stuff, which is I'm just using it as an example. I had force push abilities, and then now I have something where like I actually bring things into me. So like, oh, look at I see an item on the ground, or I see stuff, I can bring it toward me, or there's a person, I'm gonna actually bring them close and smack them with my frying pan. You know what I mean? Like you could have different interactions with the different like sort of stuff that you could do and have more complexity to it. But like I see what you're saying. Like yeah, being able to like instantly build a wall and be like, oh, it's blocking damage. I mean, like, it is a strategy though. At the end of the day, it is a strategy, and like that's why there are people that play Fortnite, and that's why there are people that play PUBG. To me, it's a battle royale. A battle royale game is a battle royale game, but like, I get the differences, and I completely respect people for playing it. I'm glad that we're seeing these new type of genres still.
I played it for a while. I can't say a while. I played a few hours of it. The number one problem I had with Fortnite was I had and this could be me just being a horrible player because I've seen other people do really well with it. I cannot gauge bullet fly time worth shit in that game.
I couldn't either.
It's like shooting Nerf darts. I don't know how to do it.
Bullets shoot at an exactly like 1 mile per hour sometimes, and then like instantly other times. It's either a hit scan or it's like
I'm shooting Nerf darts. Like I can't do it. So like
it's real hard.
And then every weapon I think besides like the shotgun has bullet tracers. So if I'm shooting at somebody, like I've seen it in games where like sniper rifles have like bullet tracers, so you know where the round came from. But this was with the SCAR and the assault rifle, the burst rifle, they all had bullet tracers. So no matter where I was shooting at from what distance, people knew where they were getting shot from. And that's good in a way. But if I'm trying to play stealthy and I'm like trying to survive, that shits on me. That shits on my whole entire like.
And it has nothing to do with your ability to be a good gamer
No.
or a good player of the game. All it actually does is make it so
I don't play that way.
yeah, and so everybody plays one. I mean, like, and you can do it. I guess like then people would be like, well then. Make sure you kill them in the first shot every time.
But I can't.
But it's like, that's let's be realistic here. That's not what it's about. Like, it's about like, even if you wanted to like play like a style where you're not like a sniper or something like that, and you just want to do something where like you wait till people come up and then you can start like fucking like doing something like it takes away that aspect of being able to do that correctly. And I think that, yeah, that is a flaw to have, like, because like
the game itself is beautiful. Though I will give it
art
that
style.
Yeah, I like its style for its style.
Yeah.
Like I like PUBG the way PUBG looks. I think it's beautiful in its own way. But I think Fortnite it just looks really well made for a free to play game.
Right. And that's another thing is,
and not just for a free to play game, just for a game in general.
Well, yeah, and that's something that we should definitely commend is that yes, it's free to play, and that is something that it's definitely a positive, and I hope to see more stuff like that. In speaking of Fortnite and its free to playness and like the things that are beautiful and great about it, I actually saw an article recently where I guess we talked about how many people like these type of games. Well, I guess there's actually some places in the world where people really like these games, and by really like these games I mean like they play them a fucking lot, which like a lot of games that can happen, like a World of Warcraft and certain like Asian countries and stuff like that, like it is very well, I guess people are not okay with it in certain countries, and now I think Britain, there's actually like several petitions started up of
I've seen Australia,
yeah, in that general area of people trying to ban Fortnite because it is addictive and making
violent. Australia was violence,
and then the one in Britain was actually it was talking about how it's addictive and it's causing people to lose their life like a drug, you could say, like alcoholism or like a heroin. It is making people. Physically making people play it too much because of how it is and how good it is and the type whatever it is. And so there's legitimate petitions of people trying to, you know what, like let me take a second right here and I'm gonna look up and see if I can find one of the petitions to
ban Fortnite. See, I am all for like censorship and where it's needed, or banning things where it's needed. But it's a video game. Like, okay, there are some raunchy, like really raunchy video games. I can't remember what the name of the game was, but pretty much the aim was like you just killed as many people as you could, as many innocents. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was like
I'm sorry. I'm gonna cut all this out because I have a horrible ADD. Re-say everything you said because I did not hear any of it.
okay. So I said I get like I'm all for censorship and where it's needed and banning things where it's needed.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some really raunchy games. Like I said, there was a one game, I can't remember the title of the game, but the not the aspect, sorry, the aim was just to kill as many innocents as possible.
It was like called like Brutal.
You were some guy in a trench
Yeah,
coat.
it was called like Brutal or something like that.
In that game, I could see why they would ban that, but Fortnite.
Okay,
It's like paintball.
First of all, I just want to say I cannot say that I see a reason to ban that because that is still a creative outlet and there's still nothing actually physically being done to anybody, and it's not specifically showing. The problem is where I'm
not saying like I would want that banned, but I would understand.
yes, I'm not even going to talk about like where exactly my politics lie, but I'm also very for creativity and like being able to do something as long as it doesn't explicitly call out somebody or hurt them or in some
Like
way
affect people.
yes and like I get like how those things do have their issues and stuff like that, but like to a certain like if we start like getting rid of that stuff, then where do we draw the line is my issue. But here I have something right here. So apparently like some of the like one of the petitions that were created for banning Fortnite was as a joke, but it actually started to get a lot of signatures and a lot of
like a following,
a big following too, and it was about. It ended up turning into where people would want to say at least they want to at least put restraints on how much you can play
like
it.
what, like a time limit?
Because it is let me see here. It says she says putting restraints on Fortnite as a possibility that could help those with significant others and kids who are playing the game excessively. She doesn't elaborate on what these restrictions would be, but it seems she's referring to something like a time limit or how long a person can play it.
I can tell you right now what they're called. Parents.
Yeah, that's the thing is, or like a significant other that actually like has like and wants to say like, hey, like you're playing too much of this and I need you to stop, and if they don't, then leave the person.
Cody, I can tell you right now why I'm not going to play Fortnite for 18 hours straight. I have a job. I have a life. I have things I need to do. If you don't have things that you need to do, if you don't have a job, maybe get a job. Find things to do. That's self-control.
So I guess then yeah, that's what I want to talk about here is what is your opinion on addictiveness of video games and like what they present and like what issues they have and like because let's be honest here, anything can be an addiction. Anything
can be an addiction.
But do you think coming home every day playing a video game for 4 hours after you get out of work, do you think there's anything inherently wrong with that?
Me personally, no. Do what you want as long as it doesn't affect or harm others. Like, I am pro do whatever the hell you want as long as it doesn't affect other people in negative ways. You know?
Right. And I agree.
But no, you can't just ban something because you don't like it or that you think it's unhealthy for people to do it. People are going to find ways to do things if they really want to do it. So you can't just say we're not going to have this anymore because we don't want it. If it's unhealthy for you. If it was that way everywhere, we wouldn't have McDonald's, we wouldn't have Burger King or any fast food chain. We wouldn't have anything that was hazardous towards your health. Cigarettes wouldn't be around, alcohol wouldn't be around. But they are. And
right.
That just comes along with freedom.
And to me, like I'm not gonna sit here and get into America speech about
I'm
freedom.
I'm not trying to either.
But that's just where it comes down to like what all in our lives do we go through and we have such a strong. Who are we to say what people can enjoy and what they can do as long as it's not affecting other people? Like, yes, Coke is bad. You probably shouldn't like fucking snort Coke every day before you go to work to get your buzz going before you go to work so that you can stay up. And I'm not saying that if you do coke, you're bad. I'm simply saying you shouldn't do that for your health. Like, it's probably not the best thing for you, right?
Well, you know that. I know that. Like, who am I to say that you can't do that, though?
And that's the thing. It's like, to me, and this is where it comes like a big issue on anything. And like, to steer back towards the game issue is do I think you coming home every day and playing 4 hours of video games is inherently bad or it's an addictive thing? No. I also don't think coming home and having a beer one beer every night makes you an alcoholic per se. Mm-hmm. I think that the times that those become negative are when you need to do whatever it is. Then it's an addiction. Mm-hmm. If you literally cannot. If you come home and your significant other or your mom or your brother or whoever you're with, if they say like, hey, we gotta like go do this, or like, do you want to do this, and you constantly are like, no, like I gotta get on and I gotta play Fortnite right now, like I have to right now, like you don't understand, like if I don't get on Fortnite right now, like like everyone's gonna like all of my friends are gonna like are gonna lose or I won't get my fix, and
like you freak out
and like or even if you don't freak out, even if you're just like legitimately just like
everything else doesn't matter.
I have to be on Fortnite, I have to be on PUBG tonight, and like you refrain from doing anything else that's beneficial towards your life
or productive,
then what you're doing is, yes, it's an issue. The same as if like you come home and like even if you only have one beer every night. But if you come home and then when like someone's like, oh, you're out of beer, like how about we just like, like whatever, like or whatever, and you go,
but again,
I need to have my beer though. I need to have it, because then at that point, what you're doing is,
but again, dude, I don't think that's the government's place to intervene.
No, I don't think that's anybody's place to intervene. I'm at this point, I'm simply saying of like what does it classify? Does it classify as addiction? If you need it, if you need to do it, yes, it does. Like I'll say like it's an addiction. Yes, it's you definitely have some sort of addiction if you feel like you cannot go the rest of your day or your life or at that moment in time without doing that, and it's consistent. Then I think yes, it's an addiction. In saying that though, do I think anybody has any right to decide what you are addicted to if it's not affecting anybody else? I mean, like, people can say all day, like, well, it affects their friends and family. Well, then the friends and family either need to tell them to snap the fuck out of it or just stop dealing with them. But that's my opinion.
And that's not like...
To me,
it's not as easy to do it as it is to say it.
No.
Again, but
that's still, at the end of the day, it's not as easy to go skydiving in the mountains of Africa. You know what I mean? Like, it's not easy to do that. But if we just say, oh, well, it's not easy, so you can't it's not that easy, then you're just never going to do it. It's not easy
nothing's easy
for us to make our time and do this podcast. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like we both just fucking worked, I work 10-hour day, so
everything was easy. Everybody be millionaires. It's not that way.
So like it's not about what's easy per se. And like if it comes down to at the end of the day, instead of having somebody forcibly tell somebody not to do something or whatever, I think it should come down, unless it's something that does affect other people, like specifically, like unless like you come home and you are like shooting up heroin and then you shoot up your baby with heroin, or you shoot up somebody that's walking down the street with heroin, or you're doing something that affects other people regardless, then no. But if you are in your own house playing a video game, playing some Fortnite, playing some PUBG, and you are enjoying your time and you play it for 16 hours, then it's and you can still afford to live where you're living and you're not leeching off of anybody else, you're not doing anything wrong, and you're still doing everything that you're doing, then it's your right. Like, and I don't mean it's like, is your right of where you live. I think it's your right as a human being to be able to do what affects only you and to get whatever you want. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that's what you should do. I'm not saying it's what you shouldn't do. I'm simply saying
you should be able to do it.
You should be able to do it. And that's where it comes down to where, like, if you're going to... Long story short, fuck you if you think anybody should ban Fortnite or any type of game or do anything that takes away the enjoyment for others simply because it takes up the person's time that you're worried about who's playing it.
I mean, I get it if you're trying to say, like, it's hazardous, but it's not. It's hazardous if you make it hazardous, but that goes with anything. Water. If I drink too much water.
Exactly. And you know, like, you know what else is hazardous? The topic that we're talking about right now. It's hazardous to our health because I'm starting to get heart palpitations from talking about it so much. So we're gonna
move along. Let's
transcend to the next, because we could talk about that all day. I could talk about all that stuff all day, but then we're gonna keep further and further from the point.
So you guys give us your comments on that. Let us know how
what do
you
think?
feel.
Like when it comes to video game addiction, banning video games. What do you think? You think that's stupid? I think it's stupid. All right. So Juan, what do you got to talk about? You got something interesting? I know you want to talk about something.
Well, hold on, because I know what you're trying to lead into, but I took a look at our list, and you wanted to talk about recent movies and TV shows. And I seen this movie. I seen a trailer.
Okay.
For this movie. It's been for like the last 2 days, so I don't know when the trailer was released, but I want to get your point of view on it.
Okay.
Because it really reminds me a lot of like what is it? Deep Blue. I think that was the movie. I think that's the title of the movie.
Yeah, I don't know the movie. Go ahead.
You don't know the movie?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Or Jaws.
Yep, I have no idea what you're talking about. Go ahead.
Okay, well, the movie's called The Meg, and it's about a megalodon. And it's
do I need to watch this trailer real quick?
Yes.
Okay, I'll watch this trailer. We'll be right back. I'm gonna watch this trailer real quick for, what is it called? The Meg. All right, we'll be right back.
Okay, so you just watched the trailer.
You want my opinion?
I'm gonna tell you right now. I think it has just the right amount of Jason Statham's like corny action guy and like shark to maybe be half decent.
All right. So the movie looks self-aware of how terrible it's trying to be,
because it reminds me of all those past shark movies.
It looks like it's self-aware and it knows what it's doing. But God, like it's so self-aware, it hurts me, because those type of movies bother me so bad. Like,
I can't tell if it's gonna be funny, action, or bad.
It's a megalodon. It's like, you found out. Oh my God, do you hear him? He's kidding, right? It's like, really? Like, I know it was meant to be that cheesy, but it's still.
But was it?
That's like,
I don't know if it was, and I just can't put my finger on if it's good or not.
It's so like, I think
it might have
it's probably
potential.
Gonna be funny.
Do you think
stupid?
So? Like there was that one part where he in the trailer where he was like, he kind of looks heroic, but he comes off as a prick. Is that what he said? I think
he comes off as
I don't remember the words, but either way,
negative, I think is what he said. It was very. I think it's self-aware of what it's doing, but at the same time, I probably wouldn't go, like, I don't have any interest to see it.
I don't think I would pay, like, I would go to the movie theaters to watch.
Do you think we should go and we should review it and then talk about it on a podcast?
We can.
Do you think we should?
Yes.
Do you think we should do it? It looks so bad it's going to be good.
I don't know, though, because there is another good movie, at least looks like a good movie, that I think it came out last Thursday, and...
What's it called?
It's got really good reviews.
A Quiet Place?
Yes.
I want to see A Quiet Place so bad, but my girlfriend does not like horror stuff and will not go see it with me.
I'll be your girlfriend, Cody.
Will you be my girlfriend?
I will go see that movie with you. I will review that movie with you before I'll review The Meg with you.
You know what we should do? We should see this movie and talk about it on the next podcast, because that movie, I heard from a buddy from work that it's actually really good, and like it does have jump scares that will catch you if you're off guard, but it's more just a good story with a good twist.
When I first seen the trailer, there was like a caption above the trailer because it was on Facebook, and it said that it was a movie about a deaf family being haunted. And
hunted. Hunted. It's hunted.
No, I seen it now, but the one I seen said haunted. And I it's about aliens, isn't it?
First of all, I have no idea. Second of all, don't ruin it for me.
I'm sorry.
But it's hunted.
I know they're being hunted because I've seen more
No,
trailers.
but that's what it is. I saw that same ad and I thought it was haunted too.
But none of them are deaf either.
but
So
it's-
that's like
But it's hunted.
no. Okay. Well,
But I did see it said a deaf family being hunted is
and
what
they're
I
not.
saw.
They're not deaf
And yeah, they're not.
at all.
But they, like from what I gathered, it seems
have
like
to be quiet.
They have to be quiet.
So what I'm taking from it is it's like, I'm just saying aliens. I don't know because I haven't.
I have no idea, but it
I have
sounds
no-
crazy and weird, and it
It
sounds
looks
really good. So I really do want to see it.
No spoilers. Nobody in the comments tell us about that movie
Yeah,
because
no
I
one-
need to see that.
Yeah. Well, by the time we'll put this up, you just told everybody not to tell us, and they're probably gonna tell us. Here it is. I got a spoiler right now for you. Han Solo dies. In the movie, in a quiet place. He dies in a quiet place. He goes in there and he dies.
Okay, back onto the subject of aliens. Something that really excited me, and I don't know why it hasn't excited other people, is the damn naval footage of the UFOs. Why are people not talking about this?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, so there was a
Probably because, first of all, stop shaking the goddamn table.
I'm excited.
Second of all, I'm excited. Second of all, I haven't seen it. So, yeah, you're right. People aren't talking about it because usually I would see something about it. And I don't remember if I said second of all yet. So, second of all, potentially. There's always so much shit about how a certain thing is a UFO that people are just so done and probably fed up with it.
But okay. So for me, at least, I don't know if this is factual or not, but I think this is the first time that the U.S. government has publicly released footage of government recordings. Of a UFO, specifically calling it and depicting it as such. They were watching it, and if you watch the video, it's nothing spectacular. But they're talking about the unidentified flying object as a low-altitude flying object with no heat emissions. So it had no type of like thrust. They see no
Couldn't it have just
evidence
been like
of thrust.
a balloon?
No, it was moving super fast. I don't know what else it could have been. And for me, that's so cool, dude. A koala.
Yeah.
Damn it, Cody.
Is that riding on the back of a hawk? It's very low heat emission, so it makes sense.
There was no heat emissions.
Yeah,
But that's so cool, dude. Like, and it's scary.
it was so cool that it had no heat emission.
Yeah,
is what you could say.
It's so cool because it's like it's real recordings. It's not some guy with like a cheap Nokia like old brick phone saying like, "Look at this. This is a UFO," and it's
It's a UFO, and it's like a picture of like Homer Simpson, like just distorted, and it's like, what? Okay, and they just
it's from
lowered
a-
the opacity in
Right.
fucking Photoshop.
no, it's a government source, which for me is like,
I'm a UFO.
that's cool, dude. That's cool, and it's also scary and terrifying, but I love it. Aliens on a whole scare the shit out of me.
Why?
Just
You don't want to accept our overlord aliens as
No,
supreme
I
leaders?
don't.
Why, dude? It sounds great.
because
Sounds great, dude.
we have worked towards not like having slavery, and I don't want to be a slave.
Who
so-
said we're gonna be a slave?
You might be a slave.
Nah.
You don't know aliens?
First of all, I just want to say if they're advanced enough
We're dead.
that they fly to another fucking solar system and planet
Whatever.
of human of beings, and they want to enslave us. Like, first of all, they're way beyond that. Like, they don't give a fuck about that. If anything, they just be here to observe us at that point. If you can to be able to travel to a different system where we've been able to go like see so far and like see what we can and detect any sort of life that we can based on the information we have available to us. If they're beyond that, then they probably have already like completely phased out the need for any sort of like.
For me, I think there's four things that could possibly happen.
All right, I'm listening. Let me just move my chair and squeak it really loud real quick and get closer to the mic. Go.
Okay, so one, like you said, they could be observers and absolutely not intervene at all.
Right.
Just watch.
Exactly. Just watch.
which is like
Probably
probably
watch me.
probably best case
Watch
scenario.
me.
2, peaceful. They can try to coexist with humans and animals alike, whatnot. Another good option. 3, conquerors. They're just looking
Cock rings?
conquerors.
Oh, conquerors. I have my. Why do I have these headphones on still?
Cock rings. They're bringing all the cock rings, Cody,
They're coming
to take our cock
to
rings.
take all of our cock rings. Listen, this is not a fucking joke, guys. They're gonna come. They're gonna take our
Hide your
cock
cock
rings.
rings.
Hide them. Hide them. Hide them right now, because when they come and they take those cock rings,
It's not gonna
you're
be
never
enough.
gonna know the stimulation to your penis that you've felt ever again.
No. Okay, so conquerors.
Cock.
So they're coming to
I love how like passionately you went right back into what you were talking
I'm
about. Cock
excited.
rings.
Conquerors. They're coming to conquer and enslave the human race.
Why though?
Workforce.
Okay, but why would they choose to use whatever resource that they have available to them and burn it to
That-
go get?
That brings me to the 4th option.
Okay.
That they have used up all natural and sustainable resources on their home planet.
On their Horma planet.
On their home planet. Sorry. And they need resources.
Right.
So they would what's that word? Terraform?
So they would terraform.
Is that the word? No.
If they terraformed, then they would
Add.
change our.
That's just changing. That's not what I mean. They would take our resources. Is what I'm trying to say. Water or whatever need be.
Right. They would extract
Extract resources.
whatever resources they wanted.
We would
Which we would probably not be okay with that. So we would attempt to stop that, and it would cause some sort of
like
conflict.
War of the Worlds type, you
Yeah.
know, ending. If not,
Or they just go bzz, and just like zap the resources, and they leave, and they.
and then we're barren and we're like Mars, which is terrifying. That's why it's terrifying, because like for me, I don't see the best case scenarios happening. It's probably like we're all gonna be slaves or we're just dead.
But the thing is with how long people have talked about aliens, don't you think by now, with all the stuff that if any of what was said is true, don't you think by now something would have happened if they wanted to do it?
If they, yeah, I guess so.
So like to me, it just
Maybe.
seems like a little far fetched that they would go and do something now. You know what I mean?
Maybe. I don't know. I guess it would all depend on like our timeline in the universe and how things worked out. Like
Unless
how
they're
early.
they're waiting for us to get more technologically advanced, because once we get to a certain point, they actually know what point we will get certain technology, because they've already experienced all that already. So they've actually used prior knowledge to figure out when we would get that sort of technology, and they want to try and stop us from using it and destroying the world.
How plausible do you think it would be that an alien landed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some extraterrestrial.
Yep.
And they looked exactly like a human.
How plausible?
How plausible?
I would say exactly.
Like
I would say exactly would be
nearly impossible.
kind of pretty impossible, but that they would reflect what us as humans look
Like a
like in
humanoid?
some way, I think is incredibly likely, because there's a reason why we've succeeded and survived and like gotten to the certain point that we have within our lives and advanced to the certain state that we are, because of our physiological makeup and because of what we have available to us. So close to us, yes. In fact, probably like a little bit different and having a little bit more of the evolutions that benefit them better than like what we have. So like maybe they have extendable claws because it allowed them to adapt and like eat food better. So while they don't have them all the time, because that would be impractical, they can retract them and what's the opposite of retract?
What?
What's the opposite of retract?
Extend? I don't know.
They can
That's not. It's not
It's
extract.
extract.
It's not extract.
They can pop out claws. and like use them when they need to. This is little tiny claws.
I think that'd be terrifying.
that would be horrifying. So
So aliens. That's just something that excited me.
I don't know. That is definitely interesting. I think that you are a little too worried for no reason.
No,
though.
I'm not worried. I'm just excited. I think it's branching. There's nothing in the media since I've been alive about UFOs or like the government even acknowledging UFOs.
Right.
So for them to acknowledge them, for me, that's what's exciting.
Yeah, they're actually.
It's like, okay, yeah, they're fucking real. Like, that's cool.
I get you. I understand. I agree. I guess we'll see where that goes.
What do you guys think about UFOs? Is it a hoax? Is it fake? Or are they coming to probe our anuses?
All right. On that, on anuses, let's talk about. Let's talk. It's gonna be real bad going into this. On the topic of anuses, let's talk about this woman that apparently was killed because she. Okay, explain it to me. Based on this is what I've gathered. She went to a hospital in Russia
It was
for some sort of reason.
it was a routine surgery, is what they said. And they were
Routine
very
surgery
vague.
about what?
It was very vague. They just said routine surgery. She was supposed to leave the same day.
Okay, so based on the knowledge that I have presented to me, she was getting saline.
It was post surgery, I believe.
Post surgery, getting saline to.
She was supposed to get saline.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. She was supposed to get saline because they have like the fluids they give you, like saline and stuff like that, for probably some reason that I'm not going to pretend that I know right now.
I'm not a doctor.
And instead of saline, what did she get? Juan?
I think it's called Formanol, but it's formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde. She received something that we put inside of our dead bodies to help keep them preserved.
Well, it's embalm. It's to
Yes.
embalm them.
Yes.
It's like
preserve
it erodes your insides, correct, and then preserves your body. It leaves you a
basically
shell.
what it does is it. I think what it does pretty much is like your organs are, since they're already like dead, like it kind of corrodes the tissue there, and it hardens out like the
Your
outside
exterior,
skeleton. Yeah,
yeah.
like, in a sort of way, it kind of. And it preserves the body. It makes it so the body's basically it cleans out your inside and preserves the body, so that way nothing can rot and like be like all terrible. It makes it so it's not like constantly decaying, because that's what happens when
with death. That happens with everything.
It rots. It
Stinks,
It
it bloats,
a bunch of different stuff happens. So basically,
They put this terrible chemical inside this woman.
so what happened, Juan?
They gave her the IV. It was supposed to be the saline drip. But instead of giving her saline, I don't know how it happened. I don't know whose job it was. But they confused the bags and they injected this woman. Well, not injected. They gave her a drip of formaldehyde. She complained to the doctors and the staff that she didn't feel right. She was in pain. And the doctors told her it was normal. Leave. So they sent her home. She lived for 14 hours. Throughout that time, her family tried to give her blankets and sweaters. They tried to warm her up because she was like shivering super bad. She died. After 14 hours of agony, she died.
And I don't want to make it seem like we're like having like a joke about this, like about her in specific. What she went through was obviously very terrible.
That was horrible.
But how the fuck do you mess this up?
How do you confuse saline with formaldehyde?
Who the fuck wasn't doing their job or did exactly what they wanted to do, which was...
I think somebody needs to be at fault, because that's
not like-
not a slip up.
It's not like you just have bags of formaldehyde just chilling with fucking saline drip right next to each other. That doesn't happen.
No.
You don't do that. Wouldn't be surprised if what happened was there was like a body that was supposed to be getting formaldehyde, and maybe like somebody's an idiot and was like, oh fuck.
Well, I'm not like a mortician or anything, but I don't know how you put formaldehyde inside of a dead body, but I can't imagine it's through a fucking IV drip.
Like, probably not in, like,
because there's no like your circulatory system's not working, so I can't. Why is it in a bag like that?
It's just in a bucket and they just like poured it
In
into
the
a
mouth?
bag. No, what?
Pour formaldehyde in the open mouth.
Here you go, ma'am. Here's your saline. Are you sure that's what this is? And it's like, yeah, it's saline.
It's something.
Why are you doing it?
It's a liquid.
It's and plus, I don't think formaldehyde is clear like saline.
Is it? Like
Let's look it up. Let's see.
if it was an accident, like, I just don't get how, man. You lose. You need to be fired. At the minimum, you need to be fired.
It looks kind of clear.
Does it?
It looks kind of clear. It looks pretty clear, actually. I'm just going to look at this report real quick. Blah, 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 blah. At room temperature, formaldehyde is a gas, but when used in 37% solution with water, it is known as formalin. Right?
That's what she was.
It's a potentially very toxic substance, the doctor said.
They're like, here you go. We're going to make you feel better. And then she just died. That's horrible.
Okay, so the thing that's real fucked up here is nearly immediately, Fedyaya's, so we had a little bit of confusion in the story. Near immediately, her temperature soared and she suffered severe abdominal pains. Mm-hmm. Her medical team recognized the blunder.
Okay. See, the article I said that they said they sent her home.
Yeah, it says they recognized it. To save her from being mummified alive, they tried to flush out her abdominal cavity, according to what they said. When Fedyaya awoke, she whispered, "I'm dying," to her mother, who believed it was a hyperbolic complaint, saying like, "Oh, it's just in bad pain." The doctors spent a long time talking and were arguing among themselves. Nobody wanted to take her on, is what she said. So pretty much she did get, I think.
I'm gonna try to find the article.
They connected her to machines. She became comatose. She was moved to a federal medical center in Moscow. Though she regained consciousness, her condition remained serious, and it was not possible to save her, they said. It says, asked why formaldehyde might be in an operating room. Lemos noted there is documented surgical use of formaldehyde in order to control hemorrhage and to denature tumor cells. Still, I don't know if it would have smart. At the end of the day, a chick was given formaldehyde when she was supposed to be given saline. I don't know how you fucked that up. I don't know why you fucked that up, and I don't know why you would let it continue for so long, because she had to have complained at some point about it.
Oh my god. Like, do you feel like somebody should be at fault?
Yeah, the whole fucking hospital.
Yeah. Is that medical malpractice, or what is malpractice?
No,
malpractice
I think malpractice
is purposeful.
I think it's when you do it intentionally. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. But yeah, it's real fucked up. That hospital should just explode right now. Everybody in it.
No, there's people in there.
No, there's
sick people.
It's terrible. Blow up the
terrible.
hospital.
Those the doctors and the staff that were appointed to her, they should have any type of repercussion.
At the very least, I would say that this should shed a light on that hospital, and there should be like some reform going on. And I don't know how the laws are, what things go on in Russia. Mm-hmm. But whatever goes on, there definitely needs to be some sort of... They need to take a look at their medical system, figure out how they catalog things, how they figure out stuff, how that could have potentially happened, and it needs to be addressed, and people need to take a look at it. And it's a terrible situation. I feel bad for the family. We are not making light of the situation. We're not making light of the tragedy that ensued. We just think it's ridiculous and funny how somebody could fuck up that bad. That's
like, Cody, take a drink of this water, and then you're like, this is gas, Juan. Like, it's not remotely the same.
I need to know. Oh, you mean like gasoline?
Yeah.
I was like, if I am handed an empty glass, seemingly empty, and I start drinking from it, and then I start dying because I drank from the seemingly empty gas glass, then I probably deserve whatever happened to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, terrible. I want to move on now.
Okay.
So I want to talk about, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's been a huge slew of Twitch streamers, like live streamers, competitive like video game players that have been getting banned from games, banned from Twitch, and kicked from teams and in trouble because of all of the offensive, racial, terrible jokes that are going on.
I think the only one that I seen, and I don't know if it's recent, but I seen it on YouTube's. It was like my homepage, like what's relevant to me, and I think his name's like Tyler One.
Yeah, Tyler One.
Yeah, I think he got banned from Twitch, and I could be wrong. I could be mistaken because I didn't watch the video. I think I just scrolled past the title, but I think that's the only one that I had seen.
So let me see if I can find something here. Okay, so here's one. Overwatch.
All right.
Toronto Esports. I'm just gonna say his name because it's public knowledge at this point. Matt Vaughn. He was streaming him playing. 28-year-old adult. Clearly knows about life. Clearly knows his like what's going on with everything. He was streaming some ranked games in Overwatch, and one of his Widowmakers on the opposite team were doing really well. So his response was to yell the N-word into his microphone using the game's voice chat system, where his whole team that he's with heard. And where
Okay.
that's what it was. That's what it was like. You know what happened. Well,
he's a pro gamer, right?
Pro on the Toronto Esports. So like you know how Overwatch has an esports league.
I think as any type of content maker, you have to withhold a certain level of professionalism. You have to be considerate to other people. You can't just say whatever you'd like. You can't just do whatever you'd like going into it.
Right. And well, let me finish. So basically, there's a video here which I'm not gonna play.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to find it yourself, you can. But he didn't just say the N-word into his mic for his team to hear and for his streamers. He literally repeated the N-word for about 30 seconds while streaming about this Widowmaker that was getting these shots. And immediately, his followers said, this isn't right. Somebody did, and reported, and he was kicked from Esports League. I think I agree with you 100%. Mm-hmm. You have to retain professionalism when you're in a, like if you're a sports player or you create content or you you entertain people. If you have if you're on a platform where people look at you and look towards you for things like that you do or you create or whatever, I believe that you do have to have an air of professionalism. Why do I think that this person is actually racist or whatever? Probably not. Do I think that he's a fucking moron? 100%. Mm-hmm. The problem is what it makes you look like is a child.
Yeah.
Because when I was 12, I thought that shit was funny. I thought that that's what needed to happen. And even then, it was very like far and few between. But I can admit it. Like when I was younger, I thought base stuff like that was funny for the shock value or made me feel better. The problem is when you're a 28-year-old man who is on
you're a man
28-year-old who is on a competitive sports team getting paid to entertain other people, and you're streaming for potentially, I would assume, thousands of people, and you decide to say
have a fucking temper tantrum
and say not just something offensive, but literally something that a word that is only used to be offensive. Mm-hmm. Literally only used to be offensive. Now it's one thing to like say like a slight slur or something like that. It comes out and going like, yo, you know what, like I didn't mean that, or even bring it up in the you know, like maybe even in the stream, if you were to say something like, I didn't mean it in that way, like there's a blah, 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 or like talk about it.
But there's no way for that word.
But there's no way to say like the N word and be like.
Not to continuously repeat it either way.
And be like, listen, I got real mad.
I mean,
I got real mad, so I said it.
We've seen other like huge YouTube stars say that word, and there was backlash for it, but the specific one that I'm talking about, like everybody knows him. I don't want to say his name, but he still has a huge following.
And the thing is
it's not okay.
I don't think that. I don't want to say that you should have your career ended, but if your career is ended, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not upset for you. I don't think that they should reverse it. It doesn't look like he says that he wanted to reverse it. I mean, he acknowledged what he did was wrong, and he said he's done with esports and won't be returning. I just think I'm not upset about him losing it. There's no issue to me about him losing his job, whatever, because he chose to do that. I guess I'm
with everything.
I'm upset that
he makes
in this world, people. The problem is it's people. And I hate it. It brings negative attention to.
That's what I'm saying. It's
to
like,
gamers.
It's media. It's social media and media. Like when you have these idiots who do these things like this, it reflects negatively on other content makers. People assume that other people do the same things or say the same things, and it's absolutely not true. So we take these minority, like the minority of like media makers or whatever, or content creators, and they get so much publicity from these negative like comments and whatnot. And it racks up a lot of views and a lot of people see it, but it also makes us look bad.
The thing is this is why competitive gaming still, to a lot of people, isn't taken seriously. Mm-hmm. And it's because childish behavior that, like even if you look at sports, it happens. It does happen there, but it's farther apart, and it's...
And I'm not saying I'm not going to say that it's condoned or, like, accepted in esports, but I think you see it a whole lot more in esports, and I think it's because people do it. And if people would just like not do it for the shock value,
what would you say if someone said that it was censoring?
I don't want it censored. People should be able to say what they want to say, but I think people should be adults. The thing
is you can. I think you can say what you want to say. Mm-hmm. I agree with that to a certain extent.
I'm saying,
unless it comes to a point where you have the potential to affect hundreds to thousands of
as content creators, whatever people do in
what
games,
you say in your own house while you jerk off to a picture of a Mexican man getting deported because you're a racist, horrible person. Whatever.
That's you. Or even in public lobbies, whatever, there's that select group of people who have to deal with your bullshit. Whatever. But when you're putting out videos and media and people are watching and you live...
And you can be influencing, or you can...
change the whole dynamic of a video, or
have like people that aren't educated, or or like children.
That's where it becomes the problem.
And that's where to me it's like it's
you were supposed to be a professional, you acted unprofessionally, and there were repercussions. I'm sorry.
Repercussions.
There are
I can't say it.
I'm sorry, guys.
There are repercussions.
Yes.
What you had. Yeah.
So that's wholly your fault.
Yeah. And I feel like it's not about censorship at that point. It's about be a decent human fucking being. How about that? How about you don't go around and you don't say racial slurs because you're upset, and you think of, I don't know, like maybe a semi-adult thing to do, like say fuck. Come on. We all say it. Say damn. Say shit.
I'm just saying, though, like, if I got into a car accident and I hired an attorney, and my attorney came to me and he was like, I might not fuck you over. I'm not going to hire that attorney. He's not professional. He's not doing the job I need him to do.
Okay.
So if you don't get signed by other teams because you acted that way, that's your fault.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean, like, to me, like, I guess I understand, like, from, like, the expletive standpoint, too, that you're trying to say. But at the end of the day, if, like, my lawyer looked at me and was like, listen, like, we're going to get fucking through this, dude.
That's different.
I would be like, oh, okay, like, he's just swearing. I don't look at it as, like, using, like, swear words as automatic, like, you're immature. But when you go, excuse my French, but when you go, okay, we're gonna do this, and I'm gonna cut that out in post, by the way. But when you say that, and you're saying something that's derogatory and offensive as, like, a term of endearment towards another person, like,
it's different.
like,
it's all about context.
And you're supposed to be a professional, you know what I mean? Like, and you're saying, like, oh, okay, first of all, I don't fucking know you like that. Second of all, I don't like that. Like, and, like, I don't even like saying shit like that in private. So to say
like that derogatory term in public,
or in a, when you're supposed to be a professional, to people that are, at the end of the day, if your job is to be a pro esports player, then when you're streaming, those people are your fans. So your job is still what it is, and you still are, like, you're doing what you're entertaining, which is what your job is. The same as if that lawyer, if he's in his own house and he's saying whatever he wants, fine, whatever. But if he goes out and at any point during his job he says something that he shouldn't be saying, and he's in a court of law, he's saying something, or he's outside of it, or he's talking to somebody, or, like, he's talking to me or whoever getting ready for their case, and he says that sort of stuff, that is not acceptable. That is not how it works. You are doing your job. You are doing whatever your practice is, and to put yourself in that situation or lower yourself to that standard and say something that's, like, not like just well, this is fucking stupid. It's a actual derogatory statement for no purpose other than the fact that you just wanted to say it. It's wrong. It's fucked up. It's incorrect.
In what that is. This is going to be the last thing I have to say about it. In what he is doing as a professional gamer, as a content creator, as somebody who is being watched, he himself needs to hold himself to a higher standard because he is being held to a higher standard.
Exactly.
He reflects on all of us. It's that simple. Be an adult, man up. You know other words, say other shit.
And that's, at the end of the day, that's what it is. Speaking of end of the days, I think that about wraps up this week's podcast.
Let us know what you think.
I mean, I don't think we did that bad. You want me to be honest? I think we did a pretty good job discussing things. But well, you guys tell us in the comments. What do you think? If you like it, we're gonna keep putting this out. If you don't like it, I'm probably gonna put it out anyways. I don't give a fuck. I want something to do on my Wednesday evenings.
I like this conversation.
But having conversations is good, and we thought this would be a good way to, like, kind of still create content that's not too involved, like too taxing on us in our personal lives that we have.
And all you guys got to do is listen.
So I think it's like it's a good avenue for us to try out. And I know people are probably wondering, like, with us putting out this podcast, like, I'm sure at least some people that watched our videos are wondering if we'll ever make more videos. It's potential. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how the podcast goes. We'll see what you guys think about this. And if everything goes well and we can get more time, it might open back up. I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah.
We'll keep licking your ear holes with our sweet serenading voices. I love you guys.
I'm not. Okay, bye.